Well, hello everybody. Uh, Welcome to Hellenic Pagans. I am Evan Rigakis, and I am your administrator. Okay, I started this, I messed it up, and I'm restarting, so here you go. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to talk about the Rites of Chronos. These are the Rites of Chronos are 8 Hellenic pagan seasonal festivals. This is going to be just basically a synopsis of all of the rites, all 8 of them, rather than each one individually, which is probably what I'm going to do, each separate videos of each, or something like that. Okay, so the Rites of Chronos do not represent some kind of standard ancient Greek tradition, because there was no standard ancient Greek tradition. That would have meant that the ancient Greeks were a united people, and unfortunately, they were not. So every single city state had their own traditions and calendars and festivals and all that happy stuff. But just because we know that they did doesn't necessarily mean that we have complete records of each tradition. In fact, we only have fragments of each tradition, some more, some less, some complete calendars. I think there's only 2 or maybe 3. Not exactly sure right now. But basically, they're all fragments. So basically, Hellenists today are left with, piecing together from all of these different traditions some sort of Hellenic tradition that they can follow. It's just how deep they can research and what they can really find, piecing it all together. So therefore, the Rites of Chronos, something that I wrote, and it's a modern development, of course, following the pagan tradition of 8 seasonal festivals. The ancient Greeks did not have 4 seasons, nor did they follow a solar calendar. They had only 2 seasons, the summer months and the winter months, or the hot months and the cold months. The summer months began on the spring equinox, and according to Delphi, the summer months were ruled by Apollo, or the celestial powers. The winter months began on the vernal equinox, or the fall equinox, and they were ruled by Dionysus, or the Chthonian powers, underworld powers. In the Hellenic mystery tradition, the Rites of Chronos are known as the lesser mysteries. We seek in our tradition to reconnect with nature, our Great Mother. And by reconnecting with nature and the nature of everything, we awaken to our own nature and our own place in nature. So how do we do this? In the Rites of Chronos, we accomplish this by we bury something called a cow A cow is a crystal egg. We bury it in the earth. We bury it in the spring equinox, and we dig it up in the vernal equinox. The cow is a crystal egg, but it's also it doesn't matter which kind of crystal it is, because it's actually a personal crystal. And so it's up to each one of us which type of crystal we choose. Some of us will even choose even a precious stone or something like that, but shaped in an egg though. And we program this to represent our spirit or our soul, what we call our demona or our demonio. Now, by burying and digging it up, we are connecting with nature or with the earth. And that whole process is basically initiating us, because it is the initiation formula for the mysteries. The mysteries are initiation rites. So the obtaining and programming of this cow is the first rite of Chronos, and we call this the rite of passage. The seasonal rites of Chronos begin with the greater rite of spring. We celebrate this on March 21st, spring equinox. We call this Mythia, the festival of the ascending child. Mythia is also what we call our New Year's Day. And this is the day that we bury the cow. Now, on May 1st, even in present-day Greece, they celebrate this day, and they call it May Day. But in the mystery tradition, this is basically the lesser rite of spring, and we call it Anthea from the ancient festival Anthesteria. Now, this festival is also called the Festival of the Gathering of Flowers, and it's dedicated to the abduction of Kore, who later becomes Persephone. The gathering of flowers is what she did. She was gathering flowers when Hades took her. So then we have the greater rite of summer. And that's, of course, the summer solstice, June 21st. We call this the Festival of Lights. It's dedicated to the primordial fire gods, the Kabiri. And the festival actually lasts for 9 days. It's practiced today still, but it's practiced on like July 25th, I believe. But it's still practiced today on one of the islands of the Kabiri called Samothrace. So the Festival of Lights is 9 day long, and we put out the old fire of the last year, and we bring in the new fire for the new year. Or something like that, right? Now, the lesser rite of summer is, of course, celebrated on August 1st. We call this Konya or Chronia as well. It's also called the Golden Festival, and it's dedicated to both the Kabiri and to Father Chronos. Right. This is the one day of the year, we call it the Day of Equality, because it's the one day of the year that we treat, everybody should be treated equally, at least one time of the year. So it's like we got this one day of the year dedicated to, you know what, everybody's equal, everybody behave, type of deal. So that's the Day of Equality. We give gifts then too and stuff like that. Well, anyway. Now, the greater rite of fall is celebrated on the fall equinox, or September 21st. We call this festival Ginia, the festival of generation. The festival is celebrated in the manner of the more well-known Thanksgiving Day style. Giving thanks to the mother of generation. And there you have it. The Lesser Rite of Fall is a 3-day festival from October 30th to November 1st. We call this festival Ekatia, the Festival of Spirits, and it's dedicated to Ekati, and it is in memory of our own departed ancestors. The greater rite of winter is celebrated on the solstice, the winter solstice, December 21st. We call this festival Mithya. It is called the Nocturnal Wedding Festival, for it's the wedding day of Hades and Persephone. I believe I did a video about just this very thing. So, the Lesser Rite of Winter is the last rite, celebrated on February 2nd. We call this festival Linnea, the festival of clearing. And on this day, we exorcise the winter demons and invoke the sun. Where the hell did I go? Okay. It's an age thing? I don't know. Okay, so that's basically it. Okay. And invoke the return of the sun. Thank you. Okay, see, that's why you write it down. So there you have it, anyways. This is the Hellenic Pagan seasonal festivals. Remember that it is not the standard tradition. There is none. These festivals are only from the Hellenic mystery tradition. And that's it. So, I hope all that was satisfactory, and be safe.